Long time no see. How we doing? I can't hear you. Let me unmute you.
I'm just fine. And yourself?
Good, not bad. Can't complain too much.
Right.
Waiting in Charlotte for Florence, and our family owns property in Wrightsville Beach, so could be an exciting weekend. I will say that.
To say the least.
Give it a couple of minutes, and then we'll get on with these. How's class going so far?
It's moving along.
Good.
Yes, sir.
You guys are working on the CAAPs now, right? You're working on the C. What's that? There's a room around. So I've been having some problems with feedback. Can you hear me okay? Without a whole lot of la 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 in the background?
Okay. I can hear you.
Okay, good. I almost ready to start. We won't be long. Can't hear you. Okay, Dr. Sanders asked me to take her place this week. Unfortunately, I have a 6:05 class on Tuesday nights and didn't do it then, so I hope not too many people were affected by that. Let me make sure I'm doing something correctly. Hopefully everyone can hear without too much feedback. But I wanted to go over the evidence outlines that I sent you last week just to make sure that you got them and that you were all set. Let me on split screen here. First, I think you're working on the CAAP evidence, the school climate question. Is that correct? Yes, yeah. No, maybe, sort of. Okay. All I did for both of these was take the rubric and use it to do the outline. Just went down through and every bulleted head, whatever, turn it into a subheading and put it so that it would write out correctly. I bounced this off one of the evaluators, so the evaluator who does most of our work actually, and he said that if you follow these two outlines, you cannot go wrong. He promised me. So hopefully that helps everybody out. Climate analysis, use the teacher's working conditions survey if you're North Carolina. South Carolina has a couple of choices. Hello? South Carolina has a couple of choices. Whatever you do, use the questions, use the parts that you, if you're from South Carolina, that you can tie into the 5 big themes that are required in the rubric. You need to discuss each one of these, not just the one that happens to jump out at you, but all of them, pluses and minuses. And then from that, put together your needs analysis. Pull out your old background description of the setting. You've got a million of them now, so just cut and paste one of those. Make sure that you put the purpose of the needs assessment there. Make sure you include the participants in the needs assessment. And you'll notice I bolded parts. Those are your subheadings. You can shorten them some, but make sure the keywords are all there in your subheadings. Make sure that you delineate all the processes. If you get any examples of discord and how they were resolved, or even if there's any disagreement along the way, then analysis of the findings, and again, go back to the 5 key areas with the subheading and talk about each one. Your school may be great at empowerment. Say that.
I just have a quick question.
Sure.
So for the analysis of the findings, how it says use the graphic, how is that different than at the beginning, all the way at the top where you say to add graphs and talk about it too?
It's not.
Oh.
Do it again.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not saying this is a great piece of art.
Right. No, I just didn't know, like, if the number 4, the analysis would be different than at the top.
No.
Where you have each of the 5 up there again.
No. You might want to just completely just cut it and repaste it.
Okay.
Okay? But this is one of those where you're taking the rubric and you just hitting your evaluator over the head that you did every single part of it.
Okay.
Forget about grade writing. No, this is not the way to grade writing. We would have cut out a bunch of this stuff to make it better. Make sure you put your recommendations in. If you want to do a proficient on that, an accomplished on that one, I think you have to get someone to actually look at it and say they may use it. Okay? Any questions about CAAP 1? CAAP 2, you're doing the school environmental analysis. Now, I'm doing a 605 class right now who are finishing their CAAP, and they stink at this qualitative research process. Over and over and over, I have to send them back and tell them they have to redo them because they don't actually say what the qualitative research process is. Qualitative research is what you do to tell the story behind the numbers. And typically what you'll do is take questions from the TWCS, sit down with a group of people or an individual interview and ask that question again face to face, and then follow through with the question in the conversation, taking notes the whole time. You take a few of those, and you start to see some themes that may emerge. They may tell you more about what it was about empowerment at your school that was good or bad. And that's all qualitative research is. But you need to talk about what process you use. Does everybody have that set up and ready to go? Some of the better ones will have a cross-section of teachers in the school, or someone from the admin, someone from leadership, someone from a couple of different grade levels or departments. You don't have to interview everybody. In fact, you shouldn't interview everybody because you have a survey that tells the everybody numbers what's going on. Okay? Any questions about that?
We ask our principal or teachers when it comes to the face-to-face.
Yeah, if you're looking really at school environment analysis, you want to talk to the teachers because the principal will always tell you it's great. So you can just crypto. I would put graphs in here, and the reason I say use a graph is because when you get to those competencies and you have to show technological understanding and all that, you've got some things there. When you get to the cultural diversity and you talk about exceptionalities, our evaluator says, don't forget AIG, don't forget the gifted kids in your discussion. And I've had some that I've read the last couple of days, where there's like 2 gifted children in the entire school, but at least they made that point. So, and in your school, it may be a huge portion in your school, and you may have special programs, et cetera. But just make sure you touch on any of these that apply. For example, any other issues, I probably should have put in second language ELL questions. Then you need a graphic presentation of the qualitative data. Somehow that says empowerment rated high at my school because teachers saw leadership opportunities or saw people involved in committees, something that shows why that was. And you get to CAAP 3. Oh, if you want to get accomplished, you have to submit that to the school leadership team. That's entirely up to you. I told you all, I think all along that I look for proficiency and not accomplished, because try to get done what you need, and that's enough. Cultural competence analysis. Every single bit of this needs to be there. If you'll just take this document, you can almost copy it, and then as you write each part, just erase what I put. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So, copy it, school vision. The school vision is da-da-da-da, and then just scrape out one and be ready to go. Mission, leadership, teacher quality. Did y'all have to collect this before? I can't remember. You have all this stuff. You can usually get it online about any school, but you can also go to your head secretary lots of times and just get it from them. Be sure and put conflict resolution in there, even if you don't have a program for conflict resolution, because it's in the rubric. Someone's going to be looking for it, and you'll get dinged if you don't have it there. Then your recommendations, again, collaboration with other stakeholders, and then that should be the team that you're working with on this. Subhead it, make sure the evaluator sees it. Part 4, the graphic organizational chart. You use all three, 1, 2, 3, to set it up. You do an intro, how we did this together, how we did it to work together, what our data was, go through the whole thing. Put the thing into a chart. You can use whatever format you prefer. I personally would just do a simple table with the rubric items easily identifiable. But if you want to go crazy on this one and do something really artsy, you are welcome to. Okay? Then the evaluator added on this final part to make sure we do it correctly. Is to combine the 4 tasks. I think we've done pretty well with this all along, so I'm not too concerned about this. Combine the 3 previous sections. Use a single reference page for all of them. 1 area for appendices, rather than cut through all out, or labeled in numerical order from beginning to end the entire CAAP final document. Any questions about that? I heard a ding.
Sorry, that's my computer.
Oh, that's all right. Okay. No questions then. Let's pull the other one up. The other one is SCIP. You're going to start with organizational analysis. Again, I set it up exactly the same way. You guys have all done SCIP 1 and SCIP 2. But just make sure that you've got the subheadings in there to make sure that our evaluators read them. Again, you may end up repeating stuff that makes you want to throw up, but put it there. When you write your doctoral dissertation, you'll find you do that a lot too. You just can't be quite so upfront about it. Anyway, use the data from the needs assessment. This one's all about getting communities involved in your school. Probably that varies remarkably from school to school. And if you want to get it accomplished, if you want it to be accomplished, include evidence that there's some kind of implementation of the plan at your school. Again, that depends entirely upon your school's situation and your relationship with your principal. Resource identification, my favorite part, because it's the first time you guys will probably ever have to actually think responsibly about your request for money. Because when you're on staff, it's easy to think, it's completely common to think that the principal has a bunch of money that he or she's keeping hidden, and all I need to do is ask correctly for it and I'll get it. Well, in this one, it's the first one that you actually have to account for where the money comes from if you're going to do it. But basically, it's a question of human capital and funding. And you'll have to, and this is a great time to find out where all that comes from and how it works. Make sure you have evidence of a functioning team. Make sure you show your role as leaders of this particular team. Then comes the marketing plan. How are we going to have better communication with our school? Statement of purpose. What's the needs assessment? There's always a need because there's never enough communication, even for you guys whose schools send out something every day. There's still more areas you can find. Your organization, you repeat these, okay, from earlier pieces. Strengths of the current program, clearly subheaded, ready to go. How do the community have anything to do with this? Or how do they normally do it? Any questions about any of this? The final one of this, the reflection, you actually have to do the competencies again. I don't think you've done that for a couple of, where you actually had to reflect back on the competencies as part of an evidence. But this is where you're using this course to be a better leader. Anything that you're doing in your intern experiences as well. And then, like I said, our evaluator put together this final piece for us. Any questions? I know you guys have been asking me for something like this for a while, so I apologize for being so long, but I was going through a fundamental philosophical crisis as to how much of this kind of stuff to provide. So anyway, I'm past the crisis now. Any questions? Things going well with Dr. Sanders? Good. Okay. Well, stay dry. Hope the power doesn't go out. Charlotte Mecklenburg's already stopped school Thursday and Friday. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
I haven't been to school since Monday. I'm in Charleston, so.
Yeah. I was telling Piper when we started, not only am I in Charlotte waiting for it to sit here, but also my family owns a condo at Wrightsville Beach, so we keep seeing that. But when Jim Cantori is on your beach, this is not a good thing. I will just say that. So we'll see how we emerge this week. Is Rock Hill Schools open tomorrow? Anybody from Rock Hill?
Yeah, we're open.
Okay, good. I'm going to be in Rock Hill doing the clinical coach 1 duties at 3 different schools.
Yeah, they said we're definitely open tomorrow, and they'll let us know about Friday, depending upon how it goes.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm before the wind whips up. My last appointment's about 3, so I hope so.
Well, we have open house tomorrow, too, so we'll be there all day.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. How that works, I don't know. Maybe they left them open just so you can have open house. I suspect it'll be the quickest open house in the history of the world. Okay. You guys take care. I'm always here if you desire individual help on any of this stuff. Just holler and send me an email, and be more than happy to check it. I also check the internship shell just about every day to see if there's anything posted. I think I have one at the very early in the semester. I haven't seen anything since. But if you feel like you're struggling with it, just let me know. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.